Moving ahead, students, before I tell you about the next system in your body, the next very important organ in your body, I want to ask you a question. The question is, how does every part of our body get food and oxygen? आपने देखा, we eat food from our mouth, but it reaches all the parts of the body, all the cells of our body. God has not given us a mouth everywhere. We don't have a mouth everywhere to eat. We take in oxygen. Oxygen enters through the nose and it reaches the lungs. And from the lungs, it goes to all the parts of the body, all the cells of the body. We don't have a nose everywhere to take air inside, to take oxygen inside. So, who is it who is doing this postman work? Who's taking the oxygen from the lungs to the body? I've already told you once. It is the blood. Who's taking the food from the small intestine to all the parts of the body? It is the blood. So it is the blood which is doing the work of transporting food and oxygen to all the parts of the body. Now, you know, the blood in our body flows continuously. That is how the food can be carried from one part to another. You know how a flowing river can carry some materials from one part to the other part of the shore. Okay. Similarly, flowing blood can carry food from the small intestine to the legs, to the hands, to the head. And flowing blood can take the oxygen from the lungs to the legs, to the hands, to all the parts of the body. So, the next question that comes to our mind is, ये blood continuously flow कैसे होता रहता है? Because there is an organ which forces the blood to flow, जो blood को धक्का देता है, जिसकी वजह से blood flow होता रहता है. ये जो धक्का देने वाला organ है, this organ is the heart. Now, the heart is located over here and it pumps blood to all the parts of the body. So just try and imagine how much it will be happening. The heart is pumping so that the blood flows everywhere. Then it gives you an imagination as if it's like a shower. The heart pumps and all the organs below are receiving the blood like a rainfall. Not possible, no? This blood from the heart flows in pipelines. जैसे कि आपका सोसाइटी में कैसे एक पाइपलाइन सिस्टम होता है, तो टंकी में से वो पानी पाइप्स में जाता है, पाइप्स में से वो हर बिल्डिंग में जाता है, फिर वो पाइप्स और छोटा होता है, फिर वो हर बिल्डिंग में से वो पाइप हर फ्लोर में जाता है, और हर फ्लोर में से वो पाइप हर घर में जाता है, हर एक फ्लैट में जाता है. Similarly, the same thing happens in our body. The heart is like a tank which forces the blood into pipelines, and these pipelines are called as blood vessels. So totally, students, it is these three parts which help in transporting food and transporting oxygen to all the parts of the body. So, blood, heart and blood vessels help in transportation. Transportation in difficult English is called as circulation. Circulate करना माने ट्रांसपोर्ट करना. ओके, आपके स्कूल में आपकी टीचर कभी कभी कोई पेपर देती है या कोई नोटबुक देती है और क्या कहते हैं, सर्कुलेट इट इन द क्लास. सर्कुलेट मीनिंग मूव इट एवरीवेयर इन द क्लास. सो ट्रांसपोर्ट मीन्स टू मूव, circulate means to move. It's the same meaning word. So here all you need to know is that heart is a muscular organ. Because it's a muscular organ, वो क्या करता है, धड़कता है। तो धड़क कैसे सकता है? हाउ इज द हार्ट एबल टू बीट? इट इज डूइंग टू थिंग्स इफ यू ऑब्जर्व केयरफुली. It's contracting and it's relaxing. So because it's a muscular organ, the heart can contract and the heart can relax. Okay? And this heart, when it will contract and relax, it will bring the blood, it will carry the blood into blood vessels. So it is very simple. The blood goes from heart to blood vessels to all the parts of the body, and from all the parts of the body again to blood vessels, and blood vessels again to heart. If I have to show you in a very simple way, heart carries blood to all parts of the body, and from all parts of the body again the blood goes back to the heart. So what am I trying to tell you? There are two types of blood vessels. One which carry blood from the heart to the body, and the other which carries blood from the body to the heart. एक blood vessel ब्लड को हार्ट के पास लेके आ रहा है, दिस इज वन ब्लड वेसल, और दूसरा है जो ब्लड को हार्ट से दूर लेके जा रहा है. सो दीज आर, देयरफॉर आई कंक्लूड दैट blood vessels can be of two types. They can be arteries and they can be veins. Arteries carry blood from heart to the body, and veins carry blood from body to the heart. And this is how circulation keeps happening in our body. I will show you a small video of how does blood flow in our body very shortly. So this is how circulation keeps happening in our body. Blood moves from heart to blood vessels back to the heart, from heart back to the blood vessels. So three components are involved. Heart is involved, blood vessels are involved, blood is involved, and this is how food, oxygen and all the important substances are transported from one part of the body to another in a very easy way. Students, this is a wonderful animation video to understand how does blood flow in our body. Before I start to play the video, I just want you to know that we have just done that there are two types of blood vessels. One is arteries and other is veins. In this video, the arteries are shown in red color because they carry oxygenated blood or pure blood or the oxygen rich blood, whereas the veins are shown in blue color because they carry blood which is rich in carbon dioxide, which contains less oxygen, or which is called as impure blood or deoxygenated blood. So there we go. This is the entire human circulatory system. You can see it is made up of 3 parts. You can see the blood vessels, you can see the heart, and what is flowing in the blood vessels is the blood. So deoxygenated blood throughout the body travels to the heart. From all the parts of the body, the deoxygenated blood is moving towards the heart. You can see it with the help of the arrows. All the arrows, the blue arrows meaning they are carrying deoxygenated blood, blue meaning deoxygenated blood, and this blood is going back to the heart. This is from the lower part of the body. Now, from the heart, see, the heart cannot pump this same deoxygenated blood back to the body. It is not right, because this blood does not contain oxygen, and the heart only knows to pump oxygenated blood, and the body also needs only oxygenated blood. So what happens? This deoxygenated blood from the heart, the oxygen poor blood is pumped to the lungs. So the deoxygenated blood from the heart will now go into the lungs, and in the lungs you will see that the deoxygenated blood becomes oxygenated. So you must see how this particular part shows that the red arrow is showing this is the lung. So the deoxygenated blood is going into the lungs, and in the lungs the blue becomes red, which is shown here wonderfully. You see the red. See, we are able to freeze this. And now the blood which has reached the heart is oxygenated. So from the heart, the oxygen rich blood is now pumped throughout the body. Now you can see all the red pipes, meaning these are all arteries which are carrying blood away from the heart. You see the arrows, the blood is going away from the heart to all the parts of the body. Now the oxygenated blood is going to the head, to the brain. The oxygenated blood is going to the hands. The oxygenated blood here is going to the legs. And now the body cells will again use the oxygen, and the blood will again become deoxygenated. And then the veins will again carry the deoxygenated blood, and the same cycle will be repeated. See, this cycle is getting repeated. The cycle begins again as the oxygen poor blood from throughout the body is pumped back to the heart. So in summary, deoxygenated blood flows from the body to the heart. This is in slow motion, to the heart. The heart pumps it to the lungs, and in the lungs blue becomes red, meaning deoxygenated blood becomes oxygenated. And then the oxygenated blood comes back to the heart. It returns to the heart. And now the heart again pumps the oxygenated blood to the different organs of the human body, which again makes it deoxygenated, and thus the cycle repeats. By now, students, you must be thinking how amazingly our body is made. The digestive system, how it is digesting food, breaking down food. Then you saw about how the circulatory system, how the heart is working, how the blood vessels are present. You saw about how our lungs are breathing. And you must be thinking how everything in our body is just happening perfectly. Perfect timing. Breathing happens continuously. The stomach is digesting food every time we eat. The heart is beating continuously. The blood vessels, arteries are carrying pure blood. The veins are carrying impure blood. How amazingly this body is working. You must be thinking, who is the boss? Who is controlling everything so perfectly? And there you get the answer to the most important system of the body, that is the nervous system. The brain. It is the brain which controls every part of our body. The digestive system is controlled by the nervous system. The respiratory system, the lungs, controlled by the nervous system. The circulatory system, the heart, the blood vessels, they're working, everything controlled by the nervous system. You are listening to me is because your brain wants to listen to me, controlled by nervous system. Your eyes are looking at the screens, so your eyes are following what your brain is saying. You are talking because your brain says you want to talk. You study when your brain says, okay, I want to study. Some days you say, I don't want to study. Your brain says you don't want to study. Someday you say, okay, let's make mischief, let's play, let's trouble someone, let's play a prank. Your brain says, let's play a prank. Your brain understands. So everything is under the control of the brain. And therefore, the nervous system is the most important system of the body. What does it do? It controls everything, and that is why I say it helps in control, and it supports everyone. Suppose you have to run a race, a 400-meter race, and you know after you finish the race, your heart rate is more. Your heart is beating fast. Why? Because if you want to win the race, your body parts, your legs require more blood, and therefore the heart is beating fast. So ये heart को support किसने किया that you have to beat fast? When you started the race, did you tell your heart, oh, beat fast, I have to win the race? Did you tell your heart? No, the brain gave the support. By the end of the race, if you ever see your lungs are breathing so fast, you are breathing heavily, you are doing like this. Who told the lungs to breathe fast? The brain said. The brain supported the lungs. You breathe fast. Because when you breathe fast, you get more oxygen and you get more energy. So, the nervous system does two things. One is control and second is coordination. Coordination meaning supporting all organs. How does it support all organs? The main control is here, which is called as the brain, and there is another structure which is located on the back side. It is like a wire. I will show you the picture very soon. It is called as spinal cord. These two parts together are called as central nervous system. Now, the brain is here and the spinal cord is here. How are they able to control every part of the body? Suppose someone pinches you very hard. You're moving somewhere and some unknown person pinches you very hard over here. You feel bad? Of course you feel bad. What do? You will try to slap that person. So if someone has pinched you here, do you have a brain over here? You don't have a brain. Do you have a spinal cord over here? You don't have a spinal cord. Then how does this message go to the brain? All the parts of our body has got wire-like structures, and these wire-like structures, they connect all the parts of the body to the brain and to the spinal cord. So the nervous system has got the first part, which is brain and spinal cord, and the second part are wire-like structures called nerves. Remember the word, students, nerves. And because they are present everywhere in the body, on every boundary of the body, therefore they are called as peripheral nervous system. पेरिफेरल मतलब स्टूडेंट्स जो साइड में होता है, और सेंट्रल मतलब जो बीच में होता है. सो ब्रेन, स्पाइनल कॉर्ड बीच में होता है एंड पेरिफेरल नर्व्स साइड में होता है. आई वुड लाइक टू शो यू दिस पिक्चर सो दैट वी क्लियरली अंडरस्टैंड. ऑन द स्लाइड, this is the central nervous system. The green is the brain. The green round is the brain, and this wire-like structure which is shown in green is the spinal cord. And look at these pink-colored wires everywhere. You know, they are in between. They are becoming yellow. They are the nerves. These are the nerves. These are the nerves. They are the part of the peripheral nervous system. So imagine if someone pinches you here or someone pokes you here, it is these nerves which take the message to the brain, and then you decide whether you want to slap that person, you want to kick that person, you want to get upset with that person. So the message goes with the help of peripheral nervous system, and this is how peripheral nervous system and central nervous system वर्क टुगेदर. दोनों मिलजुल के काम करते हैं और बॉडी के हर हिस्से को कंट्रोल करते हैं और बॉडी के हर ऑर्गन को सपोर्ट देते हैं. मीनिंग CNS एंड पेरिफेरल नर्वस सिस्टम टुगेदर आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर कंट्रोल एंड कोऑर्डिनेशन. So, we in this chapter studied the respiratory system, the digestive system, the circulatory system and the nervous system. These are the systems which are given in detail. Apart from that, our body also has some other systems which are called as skeletal system. This system is made up of bones and muscles, and they help us in movement. Any movement that our body makes, any movement, you know, right now if you walk, or if my hands are moving, or if I'm writing something on the board, any movement is brought about with the help of my bones and muscles. If you are dancing, it is with the help of skeletal system. If you are walking, skeletal system. If you are kicking someone, skeletal system. Any movement, if you are smiling, the movement of the face, skeletal system, bones and muscles. Apart from that, there are other important systems in our body like the excretory system. They are made up of what is called as the kidneys, which are the main organs. There are also other organs, but kidney is the main organ of the excretory system. Just how heart is the main organ of the circulatory system. Just how lungs are the main organs of the respiratory system. And what do these kidneys do? They help in to remove waste in the form of urine. Okay, so this is important. We remove waste in two ways. We remove waste in the form of feces or stools, that is the digestive system, and we remove waste in the form of urine, that is the excretory system. So these are the systems of our body, and this is how we understand all the major systems in this particular chapter, and now we really know how our internal organs are busy at work. So as we come to the end of this chapter, I would just like to share with you some points about how we must take care of our body. God has made this body in such a wonderful way, and it is doing so much important work. Sometimes by doing some activities, we are causing harm to our body. So let us just look at some of these things. When I did the chapter earlier, I told you that the respiratory system has got something called as a windpipe, which carries air. And the digestive system has got something called as a food pipe, which carries food. Now you must be thinking, how is it possible that when we eat, the food only goes in the food pipe, and when we breathe, the air generally goes in the windpipe only? ऐसा क्यों नहीं होता है कि हम कभी कभी खा ले तो खाना विंड पाइप में चला जाए, फूड गोज इन द विंड पाइप? Why does it not happen? If you look at this side picture of this person, observe this. Look at this part of the picture. It is this part. This is the windpipe, and this is the food pipe. Every time you eat, you look at this structure. You see, it looks like a dakkan. It looks like a lid. Every time you eat, this part closes. This comes down. This entire lid, it falls down. And when it falls down, the food has only one way to go, and that one way is the food pipe. So the food, every time you eat, this door closes so that the food can never go into the windpipe. This is the bigger picture. This is the windpipe and this is the food pipe. And see, this is how it closes. They are wonderfully shown here. So the food is only going behind, meaning into the food pipe. So this is how it generally works. But sometimes when you eat very fast, hurriedly, or when you talk while you eat, at that time there is a disturbance in this door. The door will not close. And then sometimes you're laughing and you're eating and suddenly you eat and you start coughing. At that time the food has gone into the windpipe. So the take home message is that while eating, you should not talk. You should not eat hurriedly. You should concentrate on your food. Eating food is a very important part of life. So that is one take home message. Another take home message is that every time you eat food, you should take sufficient amount of water so that the food gets digested properly. Then we go on to the next part. If you ever happen to look at your nose in the mirror, this is regarding the respiratory system. If you ever happen to look at your nose in the mirror, you see your nose has got small hair. Why has God given hair inside the nose? What is the reason? Is there a reason for that? It's because the air we breathe is not pure. Sometimes polluted air, sand may enter the nose. So with the help of hair, these dust particles are filtered here itself. They don't go further ahead. That is why God has given us hair over here. Okay, so this is the nose region. This is, if you have just tried to magnify, zoom into this, you can see the hair, the nose hair. And you can also see that the cells of the nose also have got these hair-like structures, which are called as cilia. Okay, so every time there is dust particles, these hair-like structures, they move. वो लोग कैसा झाड़ू जैसा काम करते हैं. You know how a toothbrush helps in cleaning, or how a broom helps in cleaning the dust in the house. Similarly, this hair and this cilia, they do the same work. Now, sometimes when you get cough and cold, आपको सर्दी जुकाम होता है, at that time from your nose a yellow, green, white sticky substance comes out. Students, this sticky substance is called as mucus. What is it called as? Mucus. Mucus is sticky. Now this sticky mucus also comes from these cells only. These cells meaning this part of the nose. इसीलिए from here the sticky substance falls off. So when the sticky substance comes out, what does it do? We all hate that sticky substance. Okay, but this sticky substance tries to stick the germs. वो germs को चिपका देता है इधर nose के अंदर ही, so that the air which reaches the lungs is the pure air. So the sticky substance helps to trap the germs. So remember students, the take home message is mucus is not bad. God has created mucus so that it can stick the germs inside the nose, so that the clean air can reach the lungs. And even the nose hair is not bad. So remember, everything which is being given to us is for a particular reason. Now this is something very important, students. Today you all are young, but when you grow up, a lot of us fall in this habit of smoking. Now, I have shown you pictures of two lungs. Okay, these lungs were removed after these people died. This is the lung of a healthy person, and this is the lung of a person who was smoking all his life. See the difference. The lung on the right side is a black lung. Every time you smoke, all the harmful chemicals and the harmful particles from the cigarette, they reach every part of your lung. Every alveoli of this person is damaged. Now, if every alveoli is damaged, will oxygen go into his blood properly? It will not go properly. There will be no proper exchange of gases, and therefore such a person will suffer from many diseases of the lung. Most importantly, smoking can give rise to what is called as lung cancer. So please don't smoke. It is a sincere request. Show these pictures to your friends and family members and tell them this is the bad effect of smoking. Okay? There's one more thing, students. Many times we know that we don't smoke, but we are surrounded by people who smoke. Our relatives, our friends. On the road when we are walking, sometimes many people around us are smoking. Can that affect us in a bad way? If I am not smoking, but 4 people around me are smoking, can that affect me in a bad way? Yes, students, it can affect us in a bad way. This is called as passive smoking. Passive smoking means I am not smoking, but because others are smoking, their smoke is affecting me. The smoke that is coming out from their cigarettes is entering my lungs and it is still affecting me in a bad way. So this is called as passive smoking. There are 2 types of smoking. Passive smoking is what I just told you, and there is something called as active smoking. Active smoking meaning a person who smokes is called as active smoker. So even passive smoking is harmful. Active smoking, as I told you, is of course harmful. So therefore, if someone around you is smoking, tell them to stop. You have the right to stop them, because you can tell them that if you are smoking, it can affect me as well. So let us not smoke. God has given us a wonderful life. God has given us a wonderful body. These body organs are really busy doing good work. Let us support them. Let's lead a healthy life. Let's follow a healthy living. Enjoy, take care, do well in life. Take care.